What's up with it, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Raider Honcho, and I'm back with a brand new video for you. If you're a fan of the Las Vegas Raiders and want to support this channel, please subscribe. And don't forget to check out RaiderHoncho.com. Pick you up some merch, all right? Today's video, we're going to be doing a short Honcho report on a couple rumors and a couple things that I keep seeing on my timeline and messages that people keep sending me, asking me questions. So in this video, I'm going to discuss a couple rumors, a couple trade ideas, maybe a couple things in free agency. And I'm also going to discuss this PFF mock draft that I've been seeing floating around on my timeline, and I'm going to give that a grade, all right? So we're going to dive into the draft that PFF did. You know I love PFF, so it's only right that I put the bias aside, and I'm going to grade the draft that they put together for us for the 2021 season, and we're going to give them a grade on that. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing that at the end of the video. So let's get right into it, all right? Now, the Raiders' offensive line seems to be the topic of discussion because we've seen that it is being straight just broken apart, torn down, and all the fans are running around in dismay and running around in straight panic. It's looking like a Godzilla movie, and then Gayaka, and all kind of stuff is going on. But please understand this, Raider Nation. As long as Tom Cable is our offensive line coach, there is hope. Believe me. Believe you me. I think that sounds a little better. Believe you me. Tom Cable is the guy. We got some hope, all right? The man works miracles. He knows what he's doing with the offensive line, okay? And I know we've seen Trent Brown out of the door. We've seen Richie Incognito out of the door. Gabe Jackson is yet to be released, but everybody assumes he's going to be out of the door. And everybody's like, oh, God, what we going to do? Derek Carr, what he going to do? Derek Carr better learn how to run a 4-2. Understand. We have an offensive line still. Might not be the names you're used to, but we still have players who can play, all right? And just to give you a little peace of mind, I personally believe that Denzel Good will be in the building, okay? Denzel Good may not be as good as Gabe Jackson, but he's a hell of a lot cheaper, okay? And I think that you can expect him to probably get a deal done before free agency starts, okay? So free agency is looking to start, I think, March 15th is when the tampering process is, whatever, and then 17th might be the official date. But I expect Denzel Good to get a deal done, get his contract, and probably make up the $6 million a year. And I expect that to get done very shortly before free agency even starts, so we can have some peace of mind going forward that at least a familiar face is back on that offensive line. Right now, speaking of familiar faces and new contracts, we have to talk about Marcus Mariota. Now, to me, personally, with all the stuff I've been seeing, all the stuff that I've been hearing, I think that Marcus Mariota is done as a Las Vegas Raider unless he takes a pay cut, man. Now, Marcus Mariota, I know you want your chips. I know you want the whole enchilada. But understand me. You're not going to be our backup quarterback for $10 million a year, man. And I'm not saying you don't deserve it, because if you work that contract out, you deserve to get what they told you they was going to give you. But it don't work like that right now, man. All right? If you're not going to take a pay cut, you're not going to be a Raider. And that's just the way I feel. And if he doesn't take a pay cut, Raider Nation, understand this. I think he'll be out in the next few days. I think if Marcus Mariota doesn't take a pay cut and restructure that contract to get what a regular backup would make, I believe Marcus Mariota will be out of here probably faster than Denzel Good gets his contract. All right, so I'm talking about before free agency. So I think Marcus Mariota is probably done, and that's why I talked about other backup quarterbacks being a possibility. I know a lot of you guys like Nathan Peterman. I don't understand the infatuation that John Gruden has with him, but it is what it is for right now, okay? So Marcus Mariota is probably gone unless he restructures that contract, and I believe that Denzel Good is probably going to get a good contract in the next couple days, all right? Now, moving right along, we're going to be addressing my power rankings that I just did for free agency a couple days ago. I'll put the card up there. You can click it, and you can see what I had going on. I ranked the 11th players that I thought the Raiders had a shot at getting and ranked them from 11 to 1 on who I felt like were the most important needs and who should be aggressive in targeting. And a lot of you guys gave me a lot of shit about it. Let's just call it what it is. You gave me a lot of shit about not having people on that list. And I tried to tell you, this is not a list about who's the best available free agent, right? My list was about who do I think the Raiders have the best chance of getting and who fits what we're trying to get done. And I didn't have Leonard Williams on there. And I didn't have Marcus May on there. And I didn't have players on there because I didn't think it was going to be an option for us, right? And lo and behold, during the process, you had the franchise tag window, and people got franchise tagged. And guess who was on it? Leonard Williams was franchise tagged. Marcus May was franchise tagged. I know Marcus Williams was also franchise tagged. Although I had him on my list, I did have him in the middle, and I said he's only in the middle because there is hope, but I didn't think it would be likely. I kind of felt like he wasn't going to be an option for us. But my number 1 and number 2 guys are still available. They did not get franchise tagged, and that's Dalvin Tomlinson and that is John Johnson, free safety. So I still think our top 2 free agent targets should be John Johnson and Dalvin Tomlinson. And the fact that they didn't get franchise tagged, I'm really happy about, because that means they're really still out there and available. And we just got to do our job and get them in the building, okay? I don't really care about no other free agents right now. Obviously, I made a list of 11. And those 2 guys are the top 2. So those are the guys that I really want to get in here. Of course, I want Richard Sherman. But when you talk about priorities, I think Dalvin Tomlinson and John Johnson have to be the top priorities, okay? Now, let's get into this mock draft that PFF put out there that I have been seeing. Everybody's been posting it, been tagging me in it. So I just think it's only right. Everybody knows that I love PFF. I love the way they do their grading, their analytics. I just love all of that. And let's just break it down, okay? So they did a draft, I believe it was a few days ago. So I'm not sure if they knew exactly what was going to be happening with our cuts and things like that. But I'm just going to grade it for what it is. But I'm also going to grade it for what it should have been as well. You know what I mean? So everything it isn't and everything it is, I'm going to discuss it. I'm not going to get too deep into players' grades, because on this Honcho Report, I didn't want to make a long, drawn-out video about PFF and grading and stuff like that, because if you want to know about that stuff, I do individual videos on each position and each player that I think the Raiders should draft, giving them a grade, giving them my analysis, and breaking down where I think they should go. Okay, so in this draft at 17, they went with Christian Barmore, defensive tackle from Alabama, and they actually gave themselves an A. I can't really argue with that. We do need a defensive tackle, right? With number 48, they went Carlos Basham from Wake Forest, edge rusher. They gave themselves a B+. I think it's weird that PFF gave themselves a grade when it's like, I don't know if there was some type of tampering going on, because you got to know what the grades are of the players when you're drafting them. But in the 3rd round, with pick number 80, they took Najee Harris, which I like, because in my draft, I took Najee Harris, and a lot of people said he wouldn't be there in the 3rd. But PFF obviously believes that he is going to be available. He is dropping, because even in their own draft, he's available. Now, here's where things get rocky for me. So their first 3 grades are an A, a B+, and a B+. I don't really have any contentions with those or arguments with those, but their next 3 picks to me are super suspect, man. I'm talking about super suspicious, man. All right, so at 121, they picked Shaun Wade, cornerback out of Ohio State. And they gave themselves a C+. But in my opinion, this is a D. All right, Shaun Wade can play, but there's 2 things, right? 2 things that he's not ranked probably in my top 8 cornerbacks. I think at 121, you could probably get somebody better. But also, it's an Ohio State corner, man. And I hate to be a hater, but when you look at Garyon Conley and you look at Arnett and you just look at corners in general from Ohio State, they just never seem to hit the mark. I do believe Arnett will be okay, but it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So I don't really like the Shaun Wade pick for us. And then they went with Robert Rochelle at 163, and which is another cornerback from Central Arkansas. Now, I don't mind him, but like taking back-to-back corners to me, it's no need to do that. It's no need to do that. And then at 246, they took Ian Book, which they gave themselves an A+ grade for. What the hell we gonna do with an Ian Book? Can somebody please tell me, what the hell we gonna do with an Ian Book, PFF? I don't want nothing to do with Ian Book. And I no disrespect to him or anybody who's a Notre Dame fan, but I don't want nothing to do with that guy, right? That doesn't do it for me, right? So their overall grade was actually an A-. And I highly disagree with that. I mean, what rubric are we giving this an A-? Okay, your first 3 picks of Barmore, Basham Jr., and Harris will make sure you pass the quiz. You're gonna pass the class with that, right? But when you go Shaun Wade, Robert Rochelle, and Ian Book, to me, none of those would be higher than a C. None of those would be higher than a C. So I would have to give them an overall grade. First of all, before I even get to the overall grade, they didn't draft. First of all, they drafted 2 cornerbacks, right? They didn't draft no offensive linemen. They didn't draft no safeties. And then you took Ian Book. Look now, PFF, I rock with you heavy, and I love the way y'all do things over there, but this is not an A- draft, man. This is a C draft, C+ at best. You didn't get no offensive lineman, and you didn't get a safety. You went back-to-back corners. I know for sure at 121 you could have got a safety. I know for sure you could have got a safety. And the fact that that's one of our biggest needs is like, I mean, come on, PFF. So I'm giving that a C plus, man. I'm totally dismissing this draft. And anybody who said it to me, I appreciate it, but this is not a good draft to me. I do think you get by on the Barmore, Basham, and Harris picks, but still, it doesn't. I would like to see us pick 2 defensive interior guys. I would like to see us have drafted a linebacker. I would also have liked to see us draft either offensive lineman or safety. And to think you went Sean Wade and Rochelle back-to-back picks and Najee Harris in the 3rd round, you're passing up on so many talents, so much talent. The fact that you went defensive tackle at number 17, you didn't have to go edge at 48 because there's so much edge players you can get in the middle of the draft, man. There's so many players, the Peyton Turners, the Rashad Weavers, the Joe Tryans. Like, there's so many players you could have went and got on that defensive line that you didn't have to get right there, man. You didn't have to get them right there. So I'm not liking this draft. I give it a C plus PFF. Now, there is one guy I do want to mention that I feel like has to be climbing all of our mock draft boards. It's going to be Rashawn Slater from Northwestern, the offensive lineman. I mean, the boy's a beast. I checked out some of his footage from his pro day, and he looks legit. I mean, in the face, he looks like a really nice guy, and I always don't like linemen that look really nice. He looks like a really nice guy, like somebody who is super polite and everything, but his athleticism and his strength and all his other intangibles are really off the charts, and I'm starting to lean towards him being the guy at 17. I don't like taking offensive linemen in the 1st round, but depending what our offensive line does at free agency, you never know what's going to happen. But that's definitely a guy that is respectable. He's definitely a player. And now that I've seen some tape, I definitely give him the Honcho stamp of approval as somebody we got to look out for, right? So if you like the video, please like the video. If you like the content on the channel, please subscribe. If you like me doing more daily updates and stuff like that, please let me know down there in the comments because I just never know if I posted too much or not posted enough. So if y'all want to see me post more videos daily or more videos per week, you want to see more live streams, the live streams have been lit, man. I thank everybody for supporting. But let me know in the comments what you guys want to see more of. And also let me know in the comments what you think about the PFF draft, okay? I'll try to put the picks in the description. Also, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at Raider Honcho. Grab some Honcho merch at RaiderHoncho.com. And until the next time, Raider Honcho out.